Hello everyone and welcome to Contentment Guide Astrology. I am Michelle. Welcome to my channel. Please like, please share, please subscribe. It helps my business, it helps other people to find this content. It helps my channel to grow. I really appreciate it. So today's video is going to be in two pieces. First of all, I want to talk about the Mars-Pluto opposition that is happening on the 3rd of January. And then I'm going to talk about the longest part of the Mars retrograde, which is happening in Cancer. And this is happening between the 6th of January and the 18th of April. So there's a really long time where Mars is going to be in Cancer and where we are going to be experiencing change and transformation in that part of our charts. So I will put a link below to my other video where I take you through the entire timeline of the Mars-Pluto opposition and the Mars retrograde. So with Mars being retrograde and Pluto being at the start of Aquarius, between the Pluto having moved from Capricorn into Aquarius and Mars moving between Cancer and Leo, we have and we are going to experience three oppositions between Mars and Pluto. The second of which is about to happen on the 3rd of January, and this is happening with Mars at 1 degree of Leo and Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. So Mars and Pluto together can bring quite challenging energies. Mars bringing that energy of conflict, of how we work with our desires, our actions, our sexuality, our energy in general, and Pluto being that element of depth, of working with subconscious, of working with shadows, of working with things that can feel very intense. So with this Mars-Pluto opposition, there's definitely a chance for conflict, finding new ways of dealing with conflict. But since we are still in the process of this retrograde, now Mars is moving backwards and then it's still going to be moving forwards one last time. We're still in this process. So, between now and the end of April, we're in a process of transformation. First of all, with Mars being retrograde and also with Mars opposing Pluto 3 times. So Pluto is the planet of transformation. Any retrograde always helps us to go inward. It helps us to rethink and reestablish ways of how we deal with certain energies in our lives. So with Mars, there's always a chance of conflict happening. There's always a chance of things being removed, things, places, people being removed and cut away from our lives. And this can also be part of a process in that we can see that how we deal with our actions and our desires, our sexuality, our conflict resolution skills, all of these things may not be exactly working. And with Mars being retrograde, we are now given the perfect opportunity. And 4 months seems like a long time, and in the sense of thinking about a retrograde, it kind of is, but it's a short time in your life if you think about how this Mars retrograde can help you to find a completely new way forward in life. And depending on which part of your chart this is in, you can have such a transformation that for the rest of your life you're now going to be working with your Mars energies in a totally new way. So I want to quickly talk about the significations of Pluto again. So Pluto is alchemy. It can alchemize things in a sense that they are transformed and and now they look nothing like they did before. Transformation, it is death and rebirth. It is that sense of something falling completely apart, like the Tower card in the tarot. Something falls down and it needs to be rebuilt in a new and improved way. Pluto is intensity. It is also wealth, in the sense that Pluto deals with the underground, and underground we're dealing with a wealth of gold and all sorts of very valuable things that can be mined. So also think of Pluto in terms of like the wealth that sits in our subconscious minds that we can tap into consciously. The more we can integrate the unconscious mind and come to know those unconscious parts of ourselves, the more we tap into our own inherent wealth. So this can be a really beautiful process. Pluto, like I said, deals with the subconscious and bringing subconscious things to light. It works with shadow aspects. It works with our wounds, and it works with things that are unseen. So when it comes to Mars, we are dealing with our drive, how we take action, our assertiveness, our sexuality, how we deal and work with our energy in various parts of our life, how we work with desire, conflict, a cutting away and removal of things as well. So you can see these are very intense energies, and we can have a really amazing transformation. But these oppositions may not be very easy, because we may be experiencing conflict. We may be seeing parts of ourselves that were previously hidden to us, and it can be quite an intense and sometimes even shocking process to suddenly see something about yourself that you never noticed before. But it's so beautiful in the sense that it helps us grow and expand and become totally new beings in how we deal with life. So with the Mars-Pluto opposition, there can be conflict in certain parts of our lives, working through some shadows. We can have anxiety. It can bring on panic attacks because we're dealing with something subconscious that wants to surface, but it's not quite ready to surface yet. There can be removal of things, places, people. We can experience some power struggles and just frustration in general, because Mars is that energy of our desires and action, and especially when it's still retrograde, there can be a sense of we're wanting things to move, but it's not quite ready to move yet. So these are very powerful energies that we are working with. And then after the Pluto-Mars opposition, and you can listen to the link of the other video that I will put below if you want to see exactly where this falls for you in your chart. Today I'm just going to be talking about the long period of the Mars retrograde in Cancer. So the Mars-Pluto opposition is on the 3rd of January, and then on the 6th of January is when Mars retrogrades back into Cancer. So you will definitely feel these energies more if you have planets somewhere between 17 degrees of Cancer and the end of Cancer, especially if you have planets or points around about 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees of Cancer. When Mars retrogrades and it comes to a little bit of a stand before it moves forward again, it is going to be spending about a month between the 9th of Feb and the 9th of March, just between 17, 18 degrees of Cancer. So if you have anything going on in that part of your chart, this is going to be a big transformation for you. You're going to find new ways of working with your Mars-related energies. And then on the 23rd of Feb only, Mars turns direct again at 17 degrees of Cancer. And on the 18th of April, Mars enters Leo again. So you can see literally between the 6th of January and the 18th of April, we're going to have Mars in Cancer. So this is a long period, and that is why I wanted to share with you which part of your chart this is going to influence you at by rising sign. So before I go into the houses, I actually wanted to share the tarot card I got. I specifically pulled a card for Mars retrograde and then moving forward again in Cancer. So this card is for that period between the 6th of Jan and the 18th of April. Because then at the end of April, we're going to have another opposition between Mars and Pluto at 3 degrees of Leo. So the tarot card I got is the 8 of Pentacles. And this is such an amazing card for specifically a Mars retrograde. You can see this person is sitting on their own. They are really concentrating. They are working hard at one specific task. You can see they're doing something quite repetitive because they're literally working on those pentacles. And as they go on with doing this repetitive task, each time they do it, they're getting better and better at the thing at hand. You can also see the town is way in the background. So this person is taking time out on their own. They are working on a skill by themselves, and as they achieve more and more mastery, then they will start integrating and maybe move back into the town and connecting with other people again. So this is such an amazing card for Mars retrograde. I feel we are really being called to go inward between January and April. We're each going to be finding what skill and what energy aspects of Mars we're going to be working with in ourselves. And we're going to have something to master, something to skillfully work on, something to take our time with and to really master. And when we get to the end of this Mars in Cancer period, we're going to have one more opposition between Mars and Pluto that's going to make that even deeper and more transformational. So the words for the 8 of Pentacles is apprenticeship and mastery. So see where for you in your chart with this Mars, and I'm going to mention the houses now shortly, there's a part of your life that you need to treat as an apprentice between now and April. You're going to be learning new skills. You're going to be finding a new way forward. You're going to take actions in a different way. You might be working with your sexuality and your desires in a different way. You're going to find new ways of dealing with conflict and conflict resolution. And you might be dealing with grieving and how you deal with when something or someone is removed or cut away from your life. The archetype of the Eight of Pentacles is about patience and dedication and labor. It's about separation from distractions and focusing on this one task. It's about concentration. And it is about practice. So whatever we need to improve on in this energy of Mars, in that house of our chart, we're going to practice and see improvement. And like in the card, each new pentacle that we make is going to be better skilled and improved on the previous version. And it is being fully immersed in the task at hand. So this is such a beautiful card to really help us with that energy of dedication, of improvement, and working with the energies in that house of our charts, and to be okay with maybe being removed from the busyness and the rest of the town and all of the things that we maybe think we should be doing. But right now, life is calling us to focus on this one task and improve our energy and our action and our skill set in this one part of our lives. So I'm going to give you the house significations per rising sign. You are welcome to listen for your rising sign, for your sun sign, or for your moon sign. You can even listen for the sign where Mars falls in your natal chart, because this will also give you information about this Mars retrograde. So for Aries rising, this Mars in Cancer is falling in your 4th house. So for Aries, you are being called to find new ways of dealing with actions and energies and conflict in the home, with your family, with your ancestors, how you deal with things that are very close to your heart, those things that you are connected to when you close the door of your house at night, those things that are more intimate and not out in the open. So Aries, you're going to find a way to work with Mars in a completely new way by the end of April. And for Taurus rising, the Mars retrograde in Cancer falls for you in your 3rd house. So for Taurus, the 3rd house is all about your environment. It is your inner and outer environment. Inner environment being your mind, how you are thinking, how you take action in your mind and how you think about your goals. It is about your outer environment as well, in that it is your neighborhood, it is where you shop every day, it's where you go to work. The 3rd house is also about siblings and extended family, and it is also about communication. So for Taurus rising, you are finding new ways in taking action of working with energy in all of those areas. You might have some conflict in terms of your inner workings of your mind. You might have some areas to work on and some conflict to deal with in terms of siblings, extended family, and also in your outer environment. But you are going to find a new way to deal with these energies and come to a much better way to take action and work with Mars in this area of your chart. So for Gemini rising, the Mars in Cancer retrograde falls for you in your second house. So Gemini's second house is about your resources and your skills. It is about how you make your money. It is all about resources in terms of maybe having tenants if you own property. It is about improving your skill set. It is about seeing where you can find new ways of taking action in terms of making money. There might be conflict that arises in terms of how you work with your resources, and you might find better ways now going forward in taking action, in working with your own energy, in terms of finding better ways to work with your skills, finding better ways to work with your resources, finding better ways to increase your income. So work with these energies, Gemini. You're going to find a whole new way of taking action in this part of your life by the end of this Mars retrograde. And for Cancer rising, of course, this Mars retrograde is in your first house. So Cancer, this is all about you. This is about who you are. It's about your personality. It's about how you are in your body. It's about taking action. So for you, this can be about how you personally deal with conflict, how you work with your energy. Do you exercise? How you work with your body in terms of energy consumption. It can be how you deal with conflict, inner conflict inside yourself and outer conflict in how you deal with other people in your life. So Cancer, this is a huge transformation. You're going to find new ways of working with the energy in this part of your chart. Go inward, see how you take action, how you deal with your sexuality, with your health, and with conflict resolution in your life. And for Leo risings, this Cancer, Mars retrograde in Cancer falls for you in your 12th house. The 12th house is to do with the unseen. It is the subconscious mind. It can be addictions. It's those things we don't see about ourselves. It is subconscious habits that we might be doing completely unconsciously that can now come to light, and we can see them and we can work with them. It is also that part of the chart that is very connected to spirit. It is that interim world where we can be connected to angels, to things that are not from the physical reality. The 12th house is that interim world where we are more connected to spirit, to our higher selves, to our angels and guides, to all of these things that help us in the unseen world. So for Leos, this is a perfect chance to bring subconscious things to light. You're going to see new things about yourself. You might be shocked. You can find completely new ways of moving forward with your sexuality, your how you take action in life, your desires. All of these things can come to light from the unseen, and then by the end of this you have a completely new way of moving forward. So for Virgo rising, this falls for you in your 11th house, And the 11th house is all to do with groups, with colleagues, with benefactors, with those people that come to help us in our lives, in terms of people that show up to connect us and introduce us to jobs, to people that we might need for the next chapter of our lives. And so for Virgo, you're going through a transformation in how you take action, in how you work with conflict and your desires, in terms of colleagues, in terms of groups, in terms of people that show up and come and help you and benefit you in your life. So find new ways, go inward, take your time, improve your skills in how you connect with groups and benefactors in your life. And then for Libra rising, for Libra rising, this falls for you in your 10th house. Mars retrograde in Cancer. The 10th house is all about your public life. It is your career. It is about how people perceive you out there in the world. You are going to go inward, find new ways of how you deal with conflict, how you take action, how you deal with your own energy. You might feel burnt out when it comes to your career stuff because of being too busy and pushing too hard with that Mars energy, maybe too much taking action. And you're going to find new ways of dealing with that conflict, with how you use your energy in that career part of your chart, and how you keep yourself busy out there in the public if you're not someone that is still working in a career. So this can bring a complete transformation in how you work with your energy. There can be some conflict and also some conflict resolution, and for you to see inside yourself how you deal with these Mars energies in the career part of your chart. And for Scorpio rising, this falls for you in your 9th house. The 9th house is all about spirituality. It is about faith. It's how we deal with our values and our belief systems. It is about foreign cultures, how we connect and deal with foreign cultures in our lives. And it is also about studies and also either being a teacher or a student. So for Scorpio risings, you are going inward with this Mars retrograde. You are finding new ways of how you deal with conflict, how you take action, how you work with your energy in terms of your spirituality, your values, how you connect with other people. So take your time, be diligent, and find new ways of moving forward with these energies in your chart. For Sagittarius rising, this falls for you in your 8th house. And the 8th house is one of those liminal houses where we are kind of like in an in-between world. It is about transformation. It is about death and rebirth. It is about how we share resources with others. And this can be physical resources, and it can also be resources just in terms of how we share energy with other people, how we give and take, how we share, how we receive. So for Sagittarius, this is a long period of finding new ways of really recognizing how you work with your energy, how you take action in terms of sharing with other people, how you give and take resources, and how open you are to transformation. And for Capricorn rising, this falls for you in your 7th house. Your 7th house is all about your personal relationships. 7th house is mostly about one-on-one relationships, your partner, your romantic partner, your business partner, your clients. It can be about if you are somebody, if you're somebody who works in a public field. It can be your following on social media. But mostly for Capricorns, this is a time to really go inward, to see how you take action, how you work with your energy and your words and your actions in terms of your personal relationships, where you are maybe giving too much or too little energy in terms of energy exchange in your personal relationships, and finding new ways of working with this going forward. And for Aquarius rising, this falls for you in your 6th house. The 6th house is about your daily habits, your daily appointments, what time you wake up in the morning, what time you eat lunch. It's about all of those daily things and how to improve on your daily schedule. It is also about your work life, how hard you work, where you put your energy in terms of work. So this is a time of transformation in terms of taking energy, putting energy into new ways of working with your daily schedule. Maybe seeing where you are working too hard, where you need to cut back, where you're not working hard enough, where you need to put more energy into. And the 6th house is also about health. So work and health, I think, can sometimes be so closely related, because these energies can be all about where you are working too hard, your health might be suffering. So there's some kind of balance happening here for you, Aquarius, about finding where you're taking your action, how much energy you're putting into your daily busyness, your work, and your health. And then for Pisces rising, this falls for you in your 5th house. The 5th house is called the house of joy. It is about where you find joy. It's about your hobbies. It's about things you love to do in your life, games you like to play, computer games, physical games, sports, all of these things we do to enjoy ourselves in our lives. The 5th house is also about romance and sexuality, another part of our life that we find enjoyment in, and it is also about children. So for Pisces rising, you're going to be finding new ways of how you take action, how you work with your energy, your desires in terms of things that bring you joy. Are you actually reaching out for things that bring you joy, or have you kind of let go and life has just become mundane? If that is the case, this Mars retrograde can really help you to find new ways of bringing a more balanced joy into your life. And if you have children, this might have to do with some conflicts around children, and bringing that Mars energy into more balance in terms of how you work with your energy, in terms of managing conflict with your children. So that is everybody. I really wish you such a beautiful and transformational Mars retrograde in Cancer. At this point in time, it feels like it might be long, but I know that it's going to be over in the blink of an eye. And I'm quite excited to hear what transforms for each one of you. Please comment, please share. I'd love to hear about your journey in astrology and how this plays out for you. and I am still doing my 2025 year ahead forecasts. You can get in touch if you would like to have one done for your personal dates for 2025. I've had very good feedback about the ones I've done. People are really finding them super helpful in terms of seeing what energies are playing out in 2025 and what dates are really important for them. So thank you for being here. I will see you next time.